Welcome to the Herd's official YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Colin Cowherd podcast, all of our NFL instant reactions, and more football content. Oh, here we go. It is a Tuesday. Can we top yesterday's show? Well, we'll give it a try. The Herd Hierarchy and Nick Wright in 1 hour from now. Another iconic World Series moment at Dodger Stadium on Fox Sports. It is great to have you in today. I know some of you are bleary-eyed. I know we are here in Chicago. What a wild, wild night. J-Mac, you're in Los Angeles. It's a remarkable, the people that stayed at the game, because they had an hour and a half drive home. They're not going to be many all time that are like that. So let's not waste any time. Any World Series game that goes 18 innings can be won and lost several times. Wasted and delivered moments. The Blue Jays stranded 19 runners. The Dodgers stranded 18 runners. Both of these teams had opportunities much earlier in the game. And it was not a Hollywood blockbuster movie. It was more like an 8-part Netflix special. 6 hours, 600 pitches plus. But it was a perfect representation of what makes the Dodgers great. Yes, there is Ohtani. MJ plus. He's absolutely unbelievable, and we know that. But you have Tommy Edman making great defensive plays. That's what Tommy Edman does all the time. You had 4 scoreless innings from Will Klein. He was pitching for the Tacoma Rainiers. That's near where I grew up. He had a 7 ERA for them. Every iconic Dodger moment, especially at Dodger Stadium, it's not just about the money. There's always a Will Klein. He threw 66 pitches in September. He threw 72 last night against the Blue Jays. Easily the best American League team, and only surrendered a hit in 4 innings. Will Klein, still a young guy, released 3 times this year. They asked him to go 4, and he just kept with that red beard going out there and getting people out. They needed Clayton Kershaw for a batter. Yep, Clayton Kershaw delivered. So, and then of course, it's the Dodgers, so it goes without saying that Freddie Freeman would have a walk-off. But there were so many different Dodgers that mattered. I mean, how fitting is it that Kershaw, they need an out. He gets it. Yes, it centers around Ohtani. Listen to this. Ohtani hasn't made an out. He hasn't made an out at Dodger Stadium in close to 2 weeks. 7 for 7 with 6 walks. In roughly 2 weeks, all extra base hits. We are lucky to be witness to Shohei. He is officially, in the sports world, the show. First player to have multiple walks and multiple home runs in the same World Series game. You have to go back to Yogi Berra in the 50s with the Yankees. Oh, did I mention Ohtani is starting tonight? And will be throwing 99 miles an hour, 17 hours after he got on base 9 times. Wasn't it just last week that Ohtani had the greatest baseball game ever played? I'm losing track. It was Shohei Ohtani all night long. Of course, until the bottom of the 18th inning, when who else? Freddie Freeman closed the door.
Freeman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the clock strikes midnight. Freddie Freeman has ended it. It's a repeat hero with the last word on a Game 3 classic.
I mean, that is goosebumps. I didn't see a lot of people leaving. Tip of the cap to Dodger fans. 18 innings, ends at midnight, much later where I'm sitting this morning. But I said before the series, Dodgers in 6. 2 best teams, I believe, are the Jays Now, they've got an injury to overcome, and I don't know how much gas they have. The Dodgers got very lucky with Yoshi's complete game. Their bullpen was rested. Tonight, it'll be Shohei Ohtani. Think about this. Shohei Ohtani, 7 for 7, 6 walks in his last 13 plate appearances, will now pitch tonight. And he's doing that, Ohtani's doing that in a sport where everybody throws 98 plus. I mean, he's Patrick Mahomes and Myles Garrett in one person. But it was more than Freeman, more than Ohtani. It was the out by Kershaw, the great defensive plays by Tommy Edman. It was Will Klein. There's always a Will Klein for the Dodgers. AAA pitcher in Tacoma, couldn't get people out there. 4 scoreless innings, biggest moment of his life, still in his mid-20s. It was a game these two teams played uniquely, the best two teams. And here's Dave Roberts after.
You know, that could go down as one of the greatest games of all time, or, you know, it was ugly there for a while there, you know, but, you know, it's one of those things that I do believe that the 2 best teams in baseball are playing in this series, and the 2 toughest teams. There's a lot of character right there, and, you know, you saw what Lauer did, you saw what Will Klein did. We had, you know, Henriquez, who was an A-ball last year. He's pitching huge innings, Robleski, and obviously Freddie being Freddie. It took everybody on the active roster to win one baseball game, and it's something special.
What's really remarkable about the Dodgers, and I think about this all the time, is that you know how they say if you like playing basketball, you don't have to be an NBA player or a college player, but if you like playing basketball and you go to the YMCA and you play against a bunch of guys that are better than you, it will raise your game. You like play better than you normally do, right? There's something about the way we are wired. That's what it is with the Dodgers. You put these single A guys, you put Will Klein in, you put these guys around Freeman and Betts and Ohtani and Glasnow, and everybody rises to the moment. It's not just the money. The Yankees and Mets have a lot of money. It's not just that. And the other thing that really struck me last night watching this, Ohtani was doing this with the Angels. He just wasn't doing it in October. Is that if you are a great player, and sometimes fans are like, well, I mean, they all go to the Yankees or they all go to the Dodgers. Ohtani deserved to be a Dodger. I said it when he signed, and I'll say it again. He's simply too great not to be on the stage in October. He is not only the best baseball player ever, I'm not sure who's second. Honestly, I think Mookie Betts is the second most talented baseball player on the earth. Can do outfield, can do shortstop, could lead off, could hit third, could hit fourth. I mean, getting on base 9 times. You know, in basketball, you say 6 for 6. Everybody knows who you're talking about, MJ. 6 for 6. Oh, that's MJ. LeBron's great, all-time leading scorer. He doesn't have a number. I mean, Gretzky doesn't have a number. Ohtani got on base 9 times. That's his number. Nobody else could do that. So, J-Mac, before we started the show today, you and I were saying, I don't know if I could have stayed for 18 innings at Dodger Stadium, but I think you were getting so many. I mean, that game could have ended several. I mean, there were warning track fly balls multiple times. Took some great defensive plays. My question today is, if you are a road team, so the Dodgers bullpen was rested. You know, they spent $335 million for Yoshi. He's been worth every penny because that complete game in game 2, you had a bullpen that was rested. You know, the Blue Jays, I don't know what they have left. They're going to need 7 2/3 starting pitching in tonight. I don't know what they're going to do. They lose a star player. Their bullpen's depleted. The Dodgers would love Ohtani to go 6 to 7 tonight, but I think they could survive if he didn't. So, if you win game 3 of the World Series, the numbers tell you about a 70% chance of winning the series. But that's just not a game 3. That was incredibly taxing, especially on the road team. I don't know if the Blue Jays, I don't know what's left in the tank. We'll find out. You know, I was thinking about this morning. Between Freddie Freeman's walk-off in the 18th and Trump's tariffs on Canada, we're not being very nice to our neighbors to the north. We're just not being very nice. I don't know if the Blue Jays have anything left. They, marched through the Yankees, marched through the American League. They're a great team, but they lost their clutch hitting George Springer, who was great with the Astros, great with the Blue Jays. He's probably gone in the series or certainly limited. You lose on the road in 18 and exhaust your bullpen. It felt backbreaking to me when Freddie Freeman hit that thing out. It felt backbreaking. So again, the Dodgers bullpen was more rested because they went and spent $335 million on Yoshi, and all he does now is throw complete games, which helps the Dodgers bullpen. So last night after the game, the Blue Jays manager, he's got a new solution for Shohei Ohtani. He's not going to pitch to him anymore.
We're trying to pitch around him. You know what I mean? And you trust Sir Anthony to make pitches to do that. And sometimes for pitchers, it's hard to do that, when you're kind of trying to throw a ball and didn't put it where he wanted to put it. But, he had a great game. He's a great player. But I think, after that, you just kind of take the bat out of his hands.
And not to give away secrets, but this is pretty much what we should expect going forward.
Yeah.
Listen, when you come for the king, you best not miss. And I felt like last night they missed. Barely. I mean, it was a game that could have gone either way. Warning track balls all night. But they had their shots last night. I mean, the Dodgers stranded 18 runners. The Dodgers relied on a guy from the Tacoma Rainiers that had been cut 3 times, Will Klein, and they got a hit off him. So I just think, it feels like it is meant to be. To me, the 4 best players in the series are Ohtani, Betts, Vlad Guerrero, Freddie Freeman, and the Dodgers. I mean, Yoshi now Yamamoto is he 4 or 5? I mean, when you're going complete games in the postseason and dominating lineups like the Brewers and the Blue Jays, it just feels like I thought the Dodgers were going to win this thing anyway, but man, I'm not sure how you overcome last night. I'm not sure. I don't. It just kind of felt like the oxygen got pulled out after Freddie hit it out. Here's Dave Roberts on the Blue Jays trying to pitch to Ohtani.
Playing with you, there's no bigger clutch player in the postseason. I play with Barry, but to see, Schneider walk here with nobody on base to make sure he doesn't beat him, I've never seen anything like it, certainly in the postseason. And this guy's going to be pitching later today, and that's what's crazy. But, just good at bats, and you knew that he was going to do something special tonight, and John was going to make sure he didn't kind of finish the game. And thank goodness we got Freddie Freeman in our lineup, too.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Los Angeles knows how to handle stars. They always have. Matt Stafford, Aaron Donald, Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh, Sean McVay, Ohtani, Betts, Freddie Freeman. Their proximity to the Pacific Rim is certainly valuable. But Ohtani was doing a lot of this stuff in Anaheim. And we said for years, Mike Trout, go to the Yankees. Get on the stage. You've earned it. I'm watching last night, and I'm thinking, and this is not a shot at the Angels, but the Dodgers are so well run. And the advantage to playing for a big market team or a team with a lot of money is better people hit behind you, better people hit in front of you. They don't absolutely rely on you. I said this about the late Kobe Bryant when Shaq left. Kobe wanted to be the man. He didn't want to be the only man. That's why 5-star players go to Ohio State and not Purdue. They want to be surrounded and elevated by the best players. So I think Toronto's a great team. I think they're a fantastic team. I don't know what you could. Sometimes the answer is we don't have one. It's like Michael Jordan, the Phoenix Suns. What are we going to do? I don't think there's an answer to Ohtani, Freeman, Betts, and the Dodgers starting pitching. Well, it's the players, the fans, and even the broadcasters are running on fumes. 18 innings. A guy who's been around iconic moments his whole life, Derek Jeter, 5-time World Series champ, 14-time All-Star. That was crazy. You know, it's really interesting. I made this point about you several times over the last 10 years that even great baseball players, their numbers often go down in the postseason. You're facing better pitching. It's harder. Yours didn't. You were the same guy. So Freddie Freeman's got that ability to he's Freddie Freeman in Atlanta, in LA, regular season. Is there a trick to it? Because you're facing better pitching. You're in high leverage situations. I mean, the crowd's on you. How did you you were just the same Derek Jeter? I feel that with Freeman. Is there a secret way to do it?
I don't know if there's a secret way to do it, Colin, but I think it's more of just approaching every game like it's a regular season game. You know, you have to pride yourself on consistency. And it's not like you show up in a World Series game and say, oh my goodness, all of a sudden now I'm playing in the World Series. Let me try to do more. You know, Freddie's an unbelievable hitter, you know, and I guess the best thing I can say about Freddie is I'm more surprised when he doesn't come through as opposed to when he does, because you've seen him do it so much over and over and over, regular season, postseason, it doesn't matter. And he's the same person, you know, he's got the same demeanor, you know, he had 25 at bats last night. Whether he got out or he hit a home run, I mean, it's the same approach when he's in the box. And that's what I appreciate about Freddie.
You know, Derek, your great Yankee teams had this ability to take a really good player, like a Scott Brocious, good player, and rise to be a star in the moment. You know, there was Posada and you and Mariano and you know, there was a core 4 or 5 guys, Hall of Fame guys. And then there were good guys that got great in moments. Well, Will Klein was at Tacoma with a 7 ERA, and last night he goes 4 innings. And I make this argument. It's almost like when you are a good athlete, but you're around great athletes, you do rise. And there were guys on those Yankee teams. I mean, I'm watching Will Klein, and I'm on the internet, and I'm like, who's Will Klein? What do you make of a guy that's at AAA, released multiple times, doing that? Have you seen that guy's rise in the moment?
100%. How about Will Klein though? I mean, he wasn't even on the roster. He's in Arizona for the last few weeks. Never pitched this many innings before in his career. He's out there on the mound and he does what he does in a World Series game, a pivotal World Series game. So yeah, I know what you're saying, Colin. A lot of times, you know, when you're with a group that has had a lot of experience and a lot of success, like the Los Angeles Dodgers, you know that you don't have to do too much yourself. You just want to play your part and you want to do your job. You know, you don't put everything on your own shoulders. And I think when you think small like that, good things happen. So we've had players, you know, like you mentioned, that may have not had too much success with other teams, and then they come and they join our group, and then all of a sudden you see them come up with these big moments because they know that, look, I'm surrounded by people who are professional and consistent and get the job done. Therefore, all I have to do is play my small part. But let me say this, he played more than a small part last night. I mean, that was fun to watch.
Oh, so
and you got Dodger fans Googling Will Klein all morning today.
Yeah, during the game. I'm like, who is, and I saw it, I grew up by Tacoma. I'm like, Tacoma Rainiers? That's where I went as a kid. Ohtani's now going to pitch. And, you know, the amazing thing about Ohtani, well, you can see the gifts, right? I don't think sometimes people understand how emotionally draining pitching is, right? Like, it's the focus. I mean, you go to the laptop, it's like, what's this guy like? What's this guy here? And when you watch Ohtani, are you more blown away by the stuff at the plate or the pitching?
Both. Absolutely both. Look, I mean, starting pitchers, you pitch every 5th day for a reason, right? You have 4 days off because you have to go through your routine. You have to get your body ready. You got to get your arm in shape. And for him to be able to look, I mean, he's arguably the best offensive player in baseball, along with Aaron Judge, and everyone's seeing Vladimir Guerrero. So you can make a case for him being the best offensive player. And pitching wise, I mean, what he's been able to do, if you just take away everything offensively, you know, he could be the best pitcher in the game. But then to have him do both, I don't get it. I don't even know how to answer the question. But it's like we were joking about it last night. It's like he's the 6'2" little leaguer that's 12 years old that absolutely dominates in little league, and he's doing it at the major league level.
You know, it's interesting. I like starting pitch. My theory has always been, could be football or basketball or baseball. End of the game's biggest moments, have your best players. Nothing against bullpens. I want my starter. I want Garrett Cole. I don't care if it was Verlander in his prime, Yoshi. I don't want a bullpen. Baseball's changed. It's a bullpen sport. Do you like it? I like I like A guys and A moments. What do you make of the explosion of bullpens and a batter, an inning? What do you make of it?
I think it's hard. Look, the Dodgers showed it last season because they pretty much rode their bullpen to a championship. But that's hard to do, especially when you start playing these long series, because the more times you see the bullpen, the better you're going to be offensively. I think this type of baseball that the Dodgers are playing right now, relying on their starters, this is sort of a throwback to when, we had Clemens and we had Pettit and Mussina and Cece, guys that would go out there and they were expected to throw 7-8 innings. And then you go to Mariano and it's game over. It is, I really enjoy watching this Dodgers team. I was joking with Dave Roberts last night, and I said, you look younger. Right? He looks younger because he just sits back and he relaxes and he watches his starters. And there's a couple moves, with an exception of last night. That was a completely different type of game. But you sit back, you rely on your starters, and it's fun to watch. But the Dodgers are peaking. They've peaked at the right time from, a health standpoint and from a pitching standpoint. And it's really is a throwback.
I thought baseball was at its best. And I was working for another company. It was Red Sox, Yankees. And I used to say there was something about old Yankee Stadium, is that it was almost like a bridge. It moved a little bit when it got loud. It felt different. But it was also the players, is that the Dodgers now off a championship, Toronto now backs against the wall. I really think with the Springer injury and exhausting their bullpen, I'm like, I don't know if Toronto can come back. But I also think there is an advantage having been in games like this. When you would be with the Yankees and you play a really talented team, and it was one of those games that you just won an extra inning game or a highly dramatic game at Yankee Stadium. You won, you go home, you sleep, you wake up. Did you feel like driving to the ballpark the next day? Did you feel like this is an edge? This is what being a Yankee is. Because I honestly, after that game, I think last year's Dodgers, this year's Dodgers, I don't know if Toronto's got anything left. Do you?
Well, I'd be very careful to count them out. Toronto's had their backs against the wall for, the majority of the season. No one thought they'd win the AL East. No one thought they'd get to the World Series. They have a very, very talented group that they've overcome adversity. Look, I said it before. I think the Dodgers have the best team in baseball. I think they're playing well at the right time. And quite frankly, I think they can play better than they are right now. And it just goes to show you how good they are and how balanced they are. But, you play a game like last night. It's one of those games, if you lose, it's tough, man. It's a tough pill to swallow because, you always look back and say, well, we had an opportunity and this could have changed the series. So we'll see how Toronto bounces back, but they've been doing it all year.
Yeah. The one of the things I remember years and years ago, somebody asked you were in a slump and you said, man, I don't overthink it. I just go in tomorrow. I want to hit the ball hard. I'm going to go and just hit it hard. I'm not going to overthink it. Ohtani, he couldn't hit against Milwaukee. Like he was struggling until that one profound game. And there are different guys at different times in the postseason that get into slumps. How do you compartmentalize in the World Series or an ALCS? If last night you left 5 runners on, last night, Freddie Freeman the other day on a pop-up made a mistake. It's like, man, you got to forget about that. You got to be dialed in. Did you find it easier or harder in the postseason, the World Series, to compartmentalize the moment after you draw the collar, after 2 strikeouts?
I always thought it was easier, because when you get to the playoffs, only one thing matters. Only one thing matters. Every pitch, every at bat, every situation, you have a chance to help the team win. So, you don't ever get in the box thinking about what's my average this series. It's what can I do in this particular moment. So that's why I love playing in the postseason. I mean, I hit a home run in 2001, the Mr. November home run. And I think I had one hit in the World Series up until that point. But no one remembers that because every moment you come up, you have a chance to do something. So I always found that it was easier. And I think if you put that pressure on yourself in terms of, I haven't done this or I haven't done that, that's when it sort of snowballs. But if your only focus is each individual pitch, each at bat, each game, I think it makes it a little bit easier.
Do you know what you hit in the World Series? It's insane. This is insane.
Oh, I know. I know.
321. That's an insane batting average in the World Series because you're facing.
Well, it was fun. Yeah, I mean, those are the that's what you dream of. You dream of playing in a World Series. This is what it's all. This is what fun is about. And I mean, this is what when you're in Little League, you sit down and you're in the backyard and you're dreaming that you're up in a World Series. So look, I was fortunate. I played in a lot of World Series. I played in 7 World Series, man. So I've had a lot of at bats, but I just love it. If there's one thing I do miss, I don't miss playing the game. I don't. There hasn't been a day since I've retired where I've missed playing the game. But if I could wake up and play in a World Series, I'd do it.
Well, I hope you're going to are you going to get a nap in here before the ballpark? You don't have to play short tonight.
I'm going to try, man. I have no voice. We're going to see what happens. The only thing I'm hoping for is 9 innings. That's all I can do today.
So am I, actually. So am I.
Yeah, right.
All right. Great seeing you, Derek.
You too, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right. The great Derek Jeter. Yeah, that's okay. We're all rooting for 9 innings. That's crazy. That is, when you 320 was Derek's career average about 309, 310 to hit better in a World Series. Like, I think some guys are just built for it. I think Freddie Freeman, it's like Derek Jeter said, you're surprised when he doesn't deliver with 2 men on. Like, some guys are just built for it. Some guys, I always felt Michael Jordan at the free throw line. So I was close. Derek Jeter's career average is 310. He hit better than that in the World Series. That's something.